In this video, we're going to create some 3D and 2D Nurbs objects in Blender. So we're going to create some curves and we're going to create some surfaces. And we're going to see a couple of ways we can do this, which are also available in Rhino, which is the most important Nurbs modeling software. And you can find it also in the channel. So I'm going to delete all this stuff here. I'm going to show you where you can find everything. So this is Blender 4, and now it has a completely empty scene. So I'm going to go here to Add. I'm going to go to Curve. And you can see we have like Bezier, and then we have the circle. So these are Bezier, or let's call it standard curves in Blender. I'm going to push this a little bit up there. And then we have, again, if you go to Add Nurbs, we have Nurbs curve, and then we have Nurbs circle. So they're a little bit different, but we're gonna see what's the main difference in there. And then we have a path, and then these are four, which is not what we are doing right now. We're just doing some 2D drawing with vectors and Nurbs and Bezier, and not anything else. So what's the difference between these and these? So first of all, we can create closed shapes and open shapes. And then we can create interpolation points, curves, and then we can create control vertices, points, curves. And I'm going to show you this, what it means in detail. So if I go here and I go to edit, you can see we have well, these are the tools that we can use to edit, and then I can go here and I can use the move tool. I can edit this curve, and you can see this has two vertices at the moment, and then I can also use the handles, which are really something specific of the Bezier curves. Bezier curves are essentially curves with handles. Now, if I want more points and more curves, I can go here and use the extrude, or I can press the E key on the keyboard. So if I press E, I can move forward. And now I have 3 points that I can handle with the handles. Now, if I orbit a little bit, I need to make sure that everything here is in the 2D space. So let's proceed. Let's go for the extrude. So if I extrude, I'm going to continue this line, but it's going to move, you can see here, on its z-axis, which is kind of straightforward. You can also press the X when you are extruding. You can click and press X if you want to move on the X. You can click on the plus and press epsilon if you want to move on the epsilon. So you can see it's still on one plane. But usually, if you start to draw with other methods, let's use, for example, extrude to cursor. So when I click, you can see that you can see it's changing the position of the points in the height. So this is not always good. And now we can fix this real quick. We can just go here in the curve panel, click on 2D, and you can see now it's going to be flat. So sometimes they go like up and down on the Z. That's not really good. You can make everything flat by clicking here. So you can create 2D curves on the 2D plane, or you can create 3D curves on the height dimension as well. Now this is an open curve, so it's an open shape. How do we close this and make it a closed shape? We can right click with the mouse and look for the toggle cyclic or Alt C, and now it's closed. Now we have a closed shape. Now let's go to the circle. You can see the circle is essentially an object made of these points that you can also modify in the edit mode. And if you want, you can right click and deactivate cyclic, so it's going to be an open shape. Now you may notice that here in edit mode, the points that control the curve are inside the curve. These are also called interpolation curves or interpolation points or interpolation vertices. So they are inside the curve. If I go to the Nurbs curves, like let's take, for example, the circle, go to edit mode, you can see this will be outside. So the vertices or points that control the curve in this case are not inside the curve, but they are outside. And also here you can right click and toggle cyclic to open the shape. So same thing goes for this. So if I go to edit mode, now I have external vertices that control the internal curve. These are called control vertices also in Rhino. And then I can extrude again to cursor, and I can extrude normally as we did before. And you can see where it's going. It's going really far away because that's the new direction right now of the curve. So to make everything nice, I can click on 2D. Also, you can work in a 2D space by clicking on the Z, so you can see everything from the top. And that's kind of, it's going to prevent to go like in other parts of the screen. And also you can press Epsilon and X to move in these directions. So let's go extrude cursor. And there you go. So if I move, you can see now it's nice and flat because I'm working on a 2D visualization from the top by clicking here on the Z on the top right sphere. And then you can also use the curve pen, and you can continue these, or you can create a new one. So if I go to object, well, you don't have those tools. You need to be in here, but you need to deselect like the last point there. So I'm just gonna click somewhere outside and then use the draw to draw freely the curve. You can see this is interpolation curve. And then I can use the curve pen. Let me again deselect everything and use the curve pen to create another one. And this is, you see, a little bit different. It's like Illustrator. So you click for the corner, click once for the corner, you click and drag if you want the curve with the always with the left mouse. Okay. And also you have also other here commands and other options if you want. So you have extrude also here, and you can smooth everything. You can mirror, and maybe we dedicate other videos to these other topics. You can change also here. You can change poly, Bezier, Nurbs anytime. You can change the way the handles work, etc., etc. So we're just gonna stick on this difference between interpolation curves and control vertices in this video. So let me go back to object mode. Let's select this, make some surfaces. So I can go here to the curve panel and make fill mode, and I can make this a surface. I can extrude this if I go in the geometry and make an open poly surface or an open surface, Nurbs. And here I have also possibility to use extrusion, or I can also use the bevel to make some tubular shape like cubes in Rhino. And also I forgot we also have a path. Now the path is essentially the same thing. It has control vertices just like the Nurbs. So you can edit this just like a Nurbs curve. And that's it. So I'm gonna stop here for this video. If you're interested in more, you can check the other videos about Blender and also about Rhino if you're interested in Nurbs modeling in the channel. Subscribe to the channel to stay updated. Join the channel to support us and to create more videos. And see you in the next video guide. Thank you.